I'm ordering that those declarations be filed prior to the next hearing date, which is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. Mr. Robinson,
What just happened in court could change everything. Tyler James Robinson, the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk, has now made his first appearance before a judge. This was not a casual hearing. It was a critical step in a high-profile case that has captured national attention. The judge went over Robinson's rights, made sure he would have legal representation, and laid out in detail the very serious charges he is facing. And let's be clear, these charges are some of the most severe in the criminal code, with the possibility of the death penalty on the table. Robinson appeared via video link, looking on as the judge explained his right to an attorney. Since Robinson does not have the means to hire one, the court provisionally appointed a qualified defense lawyer to take on his case. This step is essential, especially when a capital case is involved, because the law requires attorneys with specialized training and experience to defend anyone who could face execution as a possible punishment. The court made it clear that those qualifications must be documented and filed before the next scheduled hearing. The judge also reminded Robinson of his constitutional rights, including the right against self-incrimination. Anything he says can and will be used against him, and for now, Robinson remains in custody without bail. That decision alone tells us the seriousness of the allegations. This is not the kind of case where a defendant can simply walk free while awaiting trial. The prosecution team was present and ready. Led by Utah County prosecutors, they wasted no time in making their stance known. They informed the court that a pre-trial protective order had been filed on behalf of Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow, and the judge granted it. This order is designed to provide some measure of protection for the victim's family as the trial process unfolds, but that wasn't all. The SDA also revealed that they have officially filed a notice of intent to seek the death penalty. That announcement signals just how aggressively they plan to pursue this case. The judge then read out the long list of charges against Robinson, and the details were chilling. The first and most serious count is aggravated murder, a capital felony. According to prosecutors, Robinson knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk on September 10th in Utah County. They allege that Robinson created a risk to others in addition to Kirk, and that the killing was not only intentional but politically motivated. Court documents indicate that Robinson targeted Kirk specifically because of his political views, which adds an extra enhancement to the charges. Under Utah law, that enhancement can make the crime even more heavily punished if proven. Aggravated murder carries the potential for the death penalty, life in prison without parole, or a minimum of 25 years to life. But the murder charge was only the beginning. The prosecution also laid out multiple additional counts, including felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury. This charge ties directly to the act of shooting Kirk, alleging that Robinson knowingly endangered him with the firearm and that it resulted in fatal injuries. Prosecutors added obstruction of justice charges, accusing Robinson of trying to cover his tracks after the killing. Court records say he concealed or destroyed the firearm used in the shooting and later got rid of the clothing he wore that day, both actions allegedly done to interfere with the investigation. On top of that, Robinson is accused of witness tampering. Prosecutors claim he pressured his roommate to delete incriminating messages and even told him to stay silent if police asked questions. If true, these actions paint a picture of someone not only committing a violent crime, but I'll say, working deliberately to avoid accountability. One detail that makes this case even more disturbing is the presence of a child. Court filings allege that the crime took place in front of a child under the age of 14 who may have seen or heard the killing. Crimes committed in the presence of a child are considered an aggravating factor in sentencing, meaning the court must weigh that heavily when determining punishment. It adds yet another layer of gravity to the case against Robinson. As the charges were read, the weight of them became clear. Aggravated murder, firearm discharge, multiple counts of obstruction of justice, tampering with a witness, and committing a violent offense in front of a child, each of these on its own would be serious. But taken together, they represent a devastating legal battle for the defendant. For the state, this is the foundation of a case they intend to pursue to the fullest extent. The next hearing has already been scheduled for September 29th, and it will take place virtually via WebEx. At that hearing, Robinson's defense attorney is expected to be officially appointed and begin the process of responding to the mountain of charges. It will be a waiver hearing, which means the court will move forward with formal proceedings and begin shaping the timeline of the trial. This case is not just about one crime. It touches on issues of political violence, the justice system, and the extreme penalties that come with capital cases. Robinson is accused of deliberately targeting a well-known political figure, and the state has responded by bringing every possible charge and enhancement against him. The prosecution says they are prepared to turn over all discovery materials to the defense quickly, signaling they are ready to move forward without delay. For now, Robinson sits in custody, facing the possibility of never walking free again, or even facing execution if the state succeeds in seeking it. Denying the death penalty. The courtroom atmosphere during this first hearing was heavy, not just because of the charges, but because of what this case represents. A high-profile killing, an alleged political motive, and the beginning of what will likely be one of the most closely watched trials in Utah in years. The story is only beginning to unfold. With the next hearing set and the prosecution making its aggressive intentions clear, all eyes will remain on this case. The legal system will now move step by step through what promises to be a long and intense process. Tyler Robinson has been charged, the state has declared its pursuit of the ultimate penalty, and the court has set the path forward. What happens next will determine not only the fate of one man, but will also stand as a reflection of how the justice system responds when violence and politics collide in the most tragic way possible.